Hey guys, Cade Shear here, back with another video. Cade Shear Fishing. Today I'm going over my favorites. What favorites, you may ask? Oh, I'll tell you what favorites, and there's some good favorites in here. My favorite type of jig, my favorite crankbait, my favorite swimming jig, my favorite frog, my favorite soft plastic, my favorite trailer, my favorite chatterbait. It's all here in this video. So I'll just introduce you. I'll just give a little introduction real quick with just like what they are, and then I'll tell you like why. So starting off with the frogs. Here, right there. Ooh, look at that beauty. Got a little popping frog. So this frog, ooh, I have to explain later, which I will. Here I've got a 6-inch crankbait, dives 1 to 4 feet, and it's a baby brim. Very juicy here. Love it, love it, love it. Here I've got a 6-inch swim jig. 6-inch swim jig, baby. I love me some 6-inch. They're the best. I've got a 6-inch hybrid jig right here. Watermelon seed plus a little bit of blue in there. Good for a lot of trailers, which I'll show you. I got me a shad and chartreuse Z-Man original chatterbait. It's so original, but man, does it catch fish. For soft plastics, I love me some Zoom. People be dissing Zoom sometimes. They'll be like, "Oh, Zoom's just cheap. Their plastic doesn't really work. Their worms don't work." Their worms are fantastic. I love their worms so much. This is the speed worm, watermelon red, original speed worm from Zoom. I'll talk about that later. Next, also from Zoom, we've got. Sorry, I had to include two because they're just so good. But next we've got the Zoom Ultraviolet speedworm. The Ultraviolet has that little cut right there. You see it? Yeah, right there. This is watermelon candy red. And now my favorite trailer. Guess what? It's from Zoom. My favorite trailer is the Speed Crawl, the Ultraviolet Speed Crawl. Let me give you a show on this thing. Oof. Also a little bit of watermelon red action right there. It's a pretty dope bait right here. So I'll first start talking about the frog. Frog right here. It's also a popping frog. You can walk it and pop it. Walk it and pop it. Or we'll walk it and pop it. So this frog will last a long time. It's got really good like outside. It's like leathery plastic. It's really cool. The skirt is really smooth and not like sticky at all. So what I like about this is the hooks tilt up. The hooks tilt up just like that. And what that does, the hookup ratio on fish is so much greater. It's so much greater. It is hollow body. So when that fish come and bites it right there, and it's got it down, going back down, when you set that hook, the hollow body goes like that and reveals those hooks right there. I only fish this on braided line, on braided fishing line, because usually you fish this in the like the rough stuff. And when you have like monofilament line, it's got too much stretch, and that allows fish to get like caught in stumps or up in bushes, and it's just, you'll lose a lot of fish that way. So braided line, popping and walking frog. There you go. Next up, it's stuck. I'll get that one later. Swim jig. The swim jig, baby, from 6-inch. I'll put a swim bait on the back of this thing, and to fish this, it's not like most jigs at all. Not like any jigs at all. It's specifically just for this type of jig. You cast it out into like shallow bank or whatever, and right when it hits the ground, that is when you just start reeling. You just start reeling in. It's like a frog. You let it stay on top the entire time, like a top water. Because when you fish most jigs like out in the deeper water, you won't find like little swim baits out in the deeper water, so they're all up on the bank. And why would you need to let your swim jig like sink when it's on the bank? It's not that short. So the bass would follow these little swim jigs up to that bank until it's got nowhere to go. Well, of course this can't move, but then it attack the swim bait, and then that's when you set that hook. And these weed guards, they really do work. People are like, oh, well, that hook's gonna get caught a bunch. Well, every single hook's gonna get caught. It's got a pointy edge and a big old like curve on it. Every single hook's gonna get caught. If you know how to fish it, then it won't. Here's an example. Alright, here is the Z-Man original chatterbait with the skirts are chartreuse and pearl. This ain't even got a weed guard, but still, if you know how to fish it, it ain't gonna get caught on nothing. It don't even have a weed guard. So I put a fluke on here or a swim bait. These are really good for fall fishing, and you fish them just like a crankbait. So you want to get right above the like the lake floor, because if it's like on the floor, then you'll get caught a bunch. You don't want to like throw this in the nasty stuff because of that hook. That hook will get caught unless you know how to fish it. So what you want to know is you want to know how deep the water is, and from how deep the water is, that's how you tell how deep that you're fishing. Let's say the water's 6 feet deep. You want to fish this 4 feet deep. Let's say the water's 12 feet deep. You want to fish this like 10 or 8 feet deep. But you want to stay right above that messy stuff, but to the point where the fish can see it. This is a really, really, really good bait right here. I love it. Next, we've got the jig, the hybrid jig from 6 Cents, watermelon seed plus a little bit of blue. I'll rig up a trailer for you later, but after I explain. So what this does, the hybrid, it can be used as a football jig, which has really good bounce action. It goes like woof, and then like woof. Really good bounce action right there. It's really good with rocks, wood. That's the football part of it, but it could also skip. So you could skip this thing under docks because it has that flat head right there. So when you throw it, it can skip. So it's a mixture between a football jig and a skipping jig. And what the skipping allows you to do, it allows you to get to places that you usually can't get to. So really good right here, really versatile. You could fish these all year round as long as you know how and where to fish them. Next we have a crankbait that I got stuck in the sheets. Let me see if I can get it out. Ah! No! Okay, there you go. Yay, I did it. This is also from 6 Cents. Look at that. Look at the colors on that thing. It looks like an actual fish. Well, this is to imitate baby brim. Since of the natural colors, I'll throw this on clear days, like sunny, no cloud in the sky, and I'll also throw it on overcast days because it does have those dark colors. You fish this just like a chatterbait. You don't want to fish in the rough stuff because you'll get caught. Those hooks will get caught. They will get caught. So you fish it relatively shallow actually, but you want it to be clear. You see this bill right here, this lip? It allows it to dive however many feet. This one dives 1 to 4 feet. So I'd keep it in that 1 to 4 range, and then I'd just reel. You just reel on crankbaits. You don't like pop it or anything. There's no need. It just does like that. It just goes like that, imitating a swim bait. And those fish will bite. They will bite crazy. These speed worms, the reason I love them so much is because you could fish these all year round, and you'll get the exact same results all year round, and they're so good. This is a watermelon red. on sunny days they give off kind of like a it can be like translucent. It can be translucent. Sorry about the mini delay, but this is translucent on sunny days when that sun is through on in the water. It can become translucent, which throws off the fish, and any confusion with the fish, they just want to attack it and eat it. Really good colors for here. You could fish this in like dirty water because of those dark green colors, and you also fish this in clear water because of the translucency that it gives off. Here, the Ultraviolet has more tail action. Right there, you can see the cut in the tail. It also has that translucent effect to it. This one is the watermelon red candy, so it's a lot more colors in it, which sends more reflections in the sunny water, so it does attract more fish. Well, I don't know, I both get great results on both of these baits, and that's why they're my favorite. They're so versatile. You can fish these all year round and on a Texas rig. Next is my trailer for my jigs, or my favorite trailer. It is the Zoom Speed Crawl Ultraviolet. So with the Ultraviolet, it does have that cut on its legs. The normal Zoom Speed Crawl does not have that. This imitates a lobster. It does have that translucent feel. A lot of Zoom products do, and that's what I really like about it. You could also fish this on a Texas rig, and you could put it on a jig. And I'll actually show you how to rig this up on a jig, and it looks really good. So the most thing I like about this, the biggest thing I like about this is that its profile isn't so big, and what that does is you hook a lot more fish, because a lot of the times when you have super big profiles on your trailers, they'll just nip at the tails. They'll just nip at the tails, and then you're like, oh, a bite. And then when you set your hook, you have nothing. But on this, there's a much greater ratio when you hook set fish, and that's probably my biggest reason why I like this. So let me get the skirt down and push my weed guard up until I'm like right there. Then it's just like rigging up a chatterbait, which I showed in my last video. And then you go all the way up, all the way up, all the way up until about halfway up that curve. Then you come out just like that. You let your weed guard go down, and then you push that all the way up onto your keeper, onto your plastic keeper. Right here. I fished this thing so many times, there's a lot of tears in it. But there you go. You have your speed crawl as the trailer, and right there it is. That's what it looks like. Boom. Alright, so that is all. Recap of the video. The Zoom speed crawls Ultraviolet, favorite trailer ever to use. My two favorite soft plastics ever. Speedworm Original Watermelon Red, Speedworm Ultraviolet Watermelon Red Candy. Can't go wrong with these. You cannot go wrong with these at all. I love my chatterbaits in the fall. They work fantastically. I love my crankbaits. You can fish these all year round. Crankbaits, a lot of people underestimate them. They look at those hooks and they're like, nah, I don't think I want to go that way. They catch big fish. That's what they do. Swim baits imitate those bait fish coming up on that bank. Bass can't resist. Bass cannot resist these swim baits. And then that frog, man. Popping frog, the popping and the walking. Once they see that belly, they're like, oh, I want that belly. So, that is all for my video. I guess I say like, subscribe, comment, even though there's 2 of you watching, which is me twice at this point. But yeah, very cool. Keep fishing if you're liking it. Keep watching if you're liking the content. Fishing's great. And I hope you like fishing too, and I hope you take some of these baits because they're all really good. They're all really good. All the things I showed you are really, really good. So that's it, and have a good day.